My interest and my great interest is the fact of the kinds of soils we have in Nebraska and how they got there. Okay? And just quickly to go over this, when we talk about soil, we talk about 5 soil forming factors. So 5 things go into effect when it comes to the type of soil we have. Number 1, the climate. Okay, so what climate do we have across the state? Number 2 would be what would be the parent material, and that's just what it says. Parent material is the stuff the soil formed in. Number 3, the landscape position that we're on. Okay, where are we in the landscape? We on a hill, on a side slope, in a low spot? The soils change as we do that, okay? Next thing, biota or vegetation. Tall grass prairie versus short grass prairie. Trees versus short grass prairie or tall grass prairie. And number 5 is how long the stuff's been there, the age of that parent material, okay? Flood in the Missouri River bottom, a flood 15 years ago versus windblown silt where we are here in Lincoln, that's been here 20,000 years. Soils vary, okay? My interest is studying all those things, determining what soil is, where it is on the landscape, and then the properties of those soils. So how do we use those soils? That changes drastically across the state. In our soil mapping, which my job is to map the soils for people to use that information, we mapped soils early in the 1900s, and we have data from those soils. We came back and did what we call modern soil surveys in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. We mapped soils then, some of the same areas. We go out and dig a hole in 1950, one location, we identified that soil. Came back in the 1990s, dug a hole in the same area, and the soil has changed, okay? We have to classify the same because of the fact that we've used that soil. We've reduced organic carbon in the soil. We've made the soil surfaces thinner, okay? And then we've also changed some structural properties of that soil. You can then take how that change affecting, again, let's go back to water holding capacity. How is that ability of that soil to hold water for the crop change? And it's diminished. It's diminished because we have used the soil. Now again, I've always tell my students, you know, we have to farm the soil. We have and we had. We may not have done the best job back then, but now we're moving more and more towards no-till and all these things to help us maintain the physical structure and properties of that soil that are better for everybody's use.